We're going to jump right into one of the most talked about and honestly most confusing topics in Thailand today, the cannabis law. What we're going to do is cut through all that noise and try to figure out what's clear, what's definitely not clear, and what it all means.
Think about this for a second. If you could walk up to anyone in the Thai cannabis industry right now, a grower, a shop owner, an investor, and ask them, what are you most afraid of? What do you think they'd say?
You know, it's not the usual business headaches that keep them up at night. It's not pests destroying a crop or even the market getting too competitive. Nope. Their biggest fear is something way more fundamental.
It really all boils down to just one little word: law. And here's the twist. It's not because the law is too tough. The real fear, the real anxiety, comes from the fact that the law just isn't clear at all.
So here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with this fear of the law, then we'll get into what's clear versus what's unclear, see the real-world impact of all this uncertainty, talk about how to actually cope in this gray area, and then wrap up with why knowledge is really your best defense right now.
All right, so what is this fear of the law really all about? Let's peel back the layers on this one.
And that leads us straight to the heart of the problem, right? This huge gap between what the law says in principle and how it actually works or doesn't work in practice. The basic idea seems solid, but when you try to apply it to your business, that's where everything gets messy.
I mean, on the surface, the core principles are pretty straightforward. The government laid out a foundation. 1. Cannabis is not a major narcotic anymore. 2. You have to use it within the rules the state sets up. And 3, it can't cause problems for society or for young people. Seems simple enough, right?
Well, this is where it all starts to fall apart. On one side, you have some clear rules. You have to register. You can't use it in public. The government is in charge of oversight. Got it. But then you look at the other side, and it's full of these super vague terms. What exactly qualifies as commercial use? What's a public nuisance? What is appropriate use? These fuzzy definitions leave so much room for interpretation, which means different officials can make different calls. It's a total minefield.
And, this kind of ambiguity doesn't just stay on paper. It creates this massive chain reaction, a domino effect that ripples through the entire industry.
And here's exactly how that plays out. It starts with the growers, right? They're hesitant to pour more money into their operations. That fear then trickles down to the retailers, who are now scared to expand. Then, of course, the big investors see all this, and they hit the brakes, stalling the industry's growth. And who gets hit the hardest in all of this? It's always the small operators, the little guys who have the most to lose and the fewest resources to deal with all the confusion.
This quote from someone on the inside, man, it just perfectly captures the feeling. They said, many are not doing anything wrong, but are still not confident they are 100% correct. That's it right there. That's the real anxiety. It's that constant feeling that you have to look over your shoulder, even when you're trying your best to follow every single rule.
Now, it's really important to understand that this situation probably isn't malicious. It's not like someone is trying to cause chaos on purpose. It's more likely just the messy result of making policy in a brand new, completely untested area for Thailand. The government itself is kind of learning as it goes, trying things out and adjusting along the way.
So, if that's the reality of the situation, what on earth are you supposed to do? How can businesses and just regular people cope with this gray area and navigate the legal landscape as it is today? Okay, here are 4 really key best practices. Think of it as a survival guide. First, operate with absolute transparency. Second, keep detailed, complete records of everything. Your paperwork is your best defense. Third, and this is a big one, get your news only from official sources, not from rumors you see on social media. And finally, play it safe. Be conservative. Don't push the boundaries. And this might be the single most important warning to remember. Do not fall into the trap of thinking, well, if that other guy can do it, so can I. In a legal system this fuzzy, everyone's individual risk is different. The exact thing that one business gets away with could be the thing that lands another one in a world of trouble.
So the big lesson here? The Thai cannabis industry right now is absolutely not for the faint of heart. You just have to accept that dealing with this confusion, this ambiguity, is literally part of the game. Being successful means being smart, being cautious, and understanding the field you're playing on.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most crucial point. In a time filled with so much uncertainty, your ultimate defense is knowledge. It's your best shield.
I think the perfect way to describe the law right now is this. It's not pitch black. It's not like you're completely in the dark, but it is definitely not brightly lit either.
It's like we're all operating in this twilight zone, this middle ground that's stuck somewhere between huge opportunity and very real risk. Just knowing you're in that gray area is half the battle.
And that really just leaves us with the one principle you have to hold on to. In this era, knowledge is the best shield. The more you understand, the better you can navigate the risks and see the path forward. The real question now is, what's it going to take to finally switch those bright lights on for everybody?